Welcome to episode 1 of On the Inside. I'm Tom Mitchell and joined by fellow ball magnets Paddy Cripps and Lachie Neale. The intention of this show is to give our views on the current landscape of the AFL, but to also inspire the next generation of athletes and coaches out there, which is a big passion of ours at Ball Magnets. So effectively for the next 8 weeks, the audience, you guys are stuck with us. We're going to do a podcast once a week and give our views on what's happening in the game. So Lock, we might throw to you first. First of all, to see if the link is working and you can hear us properly, but also how was Noosa? It looks like you didn't get a tan.
Yeah, g'day boys. A tan never happens for me. I've been in Queensland 7 years, mate. You know that, and still pasty as white as it goes. So no tan for me. Jules came back with a nice tan. It was a beautiful few days in Noosa. Good to get away with the kids and have a bit of a spell. I think that's the longest I've played. It was like 15 games in a row. Usually we have a bye a bit earlier than that, but we had the cyclone obviously that cut out our early one, so we had to skip that. So great to get a break, but the boys are sitting in a good spot. It's good to see you both virtually. Got Crippers mob in a couple of weeks, so we're all going well here.
Good to hear, mate. And one thing I should mention as well, boys, is that we wouldn't be here without Gatorade. So this show is brought to you by Gatorade, and we're very lucky to have them on board as a key partner. What about you, Rick? You've had a bit of time off as well in WA for your bye. How was your time off?
Yeah, it was good, mate. It was always try and use the bye to get home and get it back around family and friends and chill out. I was probably the opposite to the real deal. We had the first bye, so that's the first time we've ever had that in
nice
season.
And early.
Yeah, so I felt like usually you're hanging out for the bye, but having the first bye of the whole comp, it sort of felt like I could probably play another couple of weeks before we had it, but it was always good to get the bye and got back, mate, chilled out. So now into the back part of the year. So do you get away as well, mate? Or?
And I went to Byron. Yeah, I think it's always so important, isn't it? Like the demands of footy, you need that mental reset to get away from the game. And we've all obviously got things outside of footy. You've obviously got young kids. We've got ball magnets that we do together, and having an escape from footy when the demands do get tough are pretty important, I'd say.
Yeah, I reckon. I know there's been a lot of chat and a lot of people that don't. On the outside probably hate the buys because you can't watch your team play every week. I reckon as players, I reckon if you speak to a lot of the players, a lot of us would love to have 2 buys throughout the year. I think the season's pretty demanding, and I don't know what you guys think, but I reckon if you have sort of 7 or 8 games, you can have a buy and reset. I feel like it's really important to freshen the body up, and most importantly, get away and switch off from footy. I don't know what you boys reckon about that.
Yeah, I'm 32, mate, so I'd love 3 or 4. That'd be good for me. More the merrier.
Yeah. What about as well, boys? We saw over the weekend someone who roughly around our age and who's just been a star of the comp for so long, Marcus Bontempelli, played his 250th. What are your experiences on playing on the Bont? Because other than probably the two of you, he's probably been the best of this draft class around that sort of period. What are your matchups been like with the Bont? Because personally, when I've matched up on the Bont, he's been the toughest opponent I've ever had to play on. Purely because probably for me and you, like he's a player that has size, so he can get you in the air, but he's also so dynamic at ground level. Paddy, you can probably play on him in the air, but how have your battles been with him over the years?
Yeah, I love playing on the Bont. He's we got drafted the same year, pretty similar size, so we probably always tracked each other's journey, and he's a great player. I feel like he's nearly the most loved player getting around. I'd say everyone respects the way he goes about it, plays the game the right way. He's skillful, he's tough. I think the most underrated thing, I think it was his 250th on the weekend. That's right, eh?
Yeah, 250.
But he's just durable. He hardly misses. I think that's one of the most underrated sort of skills in AFL. Like, teammates that can play most games. Like, you know that you're going to have him most weeks. So he can do it all. He can play a lot of different positions. So, he's probably going to chalk up close to sort of 350, 400, you'd think, the way he's going. So, been a special player. He's a great fella too. He's
a good guy.
That's probably the best thing, I reckon, as you get older. You end up doing a lot of things with these guys, whether it's commercially or just at sort of awards nights or things like AFLX and things like that over the years. So you get to know him, and he's a ripper guy.
Yeah, second that. He's a great fella, first and foremost. So, yeah, love seeing him off the field. Not so much on the field. He's an absolute beast, but I run as far away from him as possible when we come up against the Dogs. So I don't know why you matched up on him, Tommy. I get far away from him. He's probably one of the only players that we sort of tag. We typically don't tag too often, but usually we'll send someone to him. I know Jared Berry's done it before. Dunks has played on him a fair bit. So yeah, that's shows the respect that our coaching panel and we have of him as a group. Yeah, enormous. What he's done in his how long you been playing now, Cripps? 10, 11 years, 12 years.
Yeah, 12th year now. Yeah.
So what he's achieved in that time is pretty incredible. What has he won? 3 or 4 of the players' MVPs.
Yeah, I reckon he's 3. I reckon. Yeah.
Tons of AAs, obviously flag when he was pretty young, and you would assume that that's all he's chasing now as well, as you do when you get to the back end of your career. You just want to win and play in premierships, but their midfield is stacked. Like, I think he's so complimented by Libba, who we all rate very highly, like a player that flies under the radar. Even Ed Richards has gone to another level. Like, I noticed Sydney tagged him. They had the option of tagging all of them, and they tagged Ed Richards.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably he's been up there, one of the best players in the comp this year if you look at most of the stats. So yeah, he's just feel like that modern game, like he can really run and carry and use the ball well. So it's always good. I feel like as you get older, these young guys start bursting onto the scene. You sort of feel like you're still 24, then you realise some of these guys that are up and coming that you think 18 are sort of 24, 25 now. So we're all getting a bit long in the tooth.
100%. Who are some other players for the both of you? Start with you, Locke. Who are some other players this year who have really caught your eye? Who's a Brownlow fancy? Who's someone that has taken their game to another level and that you'd rate as one of the best players in the comp?
Yeah, I think I've always admired the way Zach Butters goes about it, and I reckon Port were probably struggling a little bit early when they didn't have him, and since he's come back, like, he's just dominated. So I love watching Butters go about it. Similar size to me, and he's a bit more agile and a bit quicker than what I am, but he's pretty tough for his size as well. So I love watching what Zach does on the field. Obviously, Nick's having a great year again. He's dominating, so I think he'll probably win the Brownlow. With Collingwood winning so many games as well, he'll get plenty of chances to poll. So he's probably my tip for the Brownlow at this stage. But it'll be pretty close. Like, Jordan Dawson's probably gone to another level. He seems like a player that's just standing up in big moments for them at the moment. Like, he might not have 30 every week, but he'll have like low 20s. But just 4 or 5 touches are just so crucial, and he's kicking goals and doing it all for him. So loving Geordie Dawson's year as well.
There you go, Paddy.
Yeah, all those guys. Caleb Strong's one guy I love watching. Like, I reckon he probably reminds me the most of you two. I reckon he just, he's not massive, but he's pretty strong. He's sort of durable. He's real clean below his knees.
Great footwork too.
Yeah.
At centre bounce, he's sort of like Locke, like the way he moves and pounces on balls. So good with his feet.
Yeah, so he's been the best clearance player this year for sure, just from watching him. I reckon all those guys are, like you said, obviously Bailey Smith's having a great year. I probably try and watch more of the clearance sort of guys. So Matty Rouse, he's playing some good footy, but all those sort of guys having amazing years, and Strong's probably the one that's standing out for me, I reckon.
Yeah. I was thinking before as well on the drive in. Obviously, the second half of the year, effectively the bye period is done. It's a clean run now to finals, and you guys have both been on teams that have made big runs towards that period. Like your team last year went on that big run that, I'm not sure how many games you won on the trot, but really set up your season. I think the Giants have done it. Cripper, the Blues did it in 23. What are some things you guys think are key and important in getting that momentum as the season progresses towards finals? What's worked for you guys?
For us, like, I don't know, sometimes you just, it's like with teams when you just get confidence as a group. Like, it's, you can't force confidence. Sometimes you just got to see a few wins. It's a bit like individuals. Sometimes you just got to have a few big games, and you go from struggling to get a kick to feeling like you can't not get 30 when you're out there. You just go through sort of ebbs and flows with form and confidence. I feel like that's sometimes as a team as well. And when we got on a run, we had a really tough patch there in the middle of 2023, and then we started winning some games, but we're playing really hard, tough, selfless footy, and then I think we won sort of 8 out of the last 9 games, and then got on a bit of run in the finals as well. So they're the times you love you love playing footy, but I feel like the comp's that even now. Like we're a couple of games outside the 8. All it takes is a bit of momentum and hitting form at the right time of the year, and where to contrast last year, we actually had a lot of our form in the front half of the year, and then we're a bit patchy in the back half. So teams that can get form at the right time of the year can do a fair bit of damage. So that's what I put it down to.
What about you, Locke? Last year, the Lions went on a big run the second half of the year, carried that momentum and went on to win the premiership. What were some key factors in allowing you guys to do that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost was strong leadership, especially from Fags. We weren't travelling too well at our bye last year. I think we were 13th. But Fags sort of brought us all in, had a big meeting and showed us some KPIs, like key performance indicators that we sort of base our game on for the last 5 or 6 years, and we were going really well in those. There was just a couple of things to tidy up, which was our inside 50 to scores percentage and then our accuracy. So we knew we weren't far off it, and having that confidence from him allowed us leaders to really drive the energy and drive to the group home that we're actually not going too bad, and things will turn if we just tidy up a couple of little things, which we were able to do, and we got on a bit of a run. And I think just staying positive in a pretty tough environment, like for us, we probably get it a bit easier in Brizzy without the media scrutiny as heavy as the other states. But I suppose for the Melbourne clubs and SA and Perth as well, if you guys can galvanise as a group and not let the outside noise in, that can really help as well, because sometimes you're not going as bad as what everyone thinks you are.
I think the leadership component is so important, and you guys are obviously both great captains of your respective clubs. What leadership aspects, Paddy, for example, at the moment are you focusing on? Obviously, we touched on even at lunch prior, footy is a roller coaster. Like there's great times, there's tough times, and right now it's a bit of a tough time. But what sort of do you focus on with your leadership? Because you can see it from afar, the way you talk to the boys, even whether it's on the bench to keep the group galvanised. But what do you focus on in that space?
Yeah, there's no doubt the toughest times when you're not going the way you want, as a player and as a leader. So the thing I really try and focus on as well with the other leaders is making sure we're all on the same page, but also trying to keep the energy high. And Lachie touched on it before, but as much as you can, you got to try and block the external out. And it can be loud. Like at the moment for us, it's really loud on the outside. So how you can keep eyes in and really control and live the standards, but also create the energy. I think the energy is a big one. Like that positive energy, keep coming in and making sure you keep doing the work and keep enjoying the work. And I feel like the other thing that's underrated is actually just that social connection, sort of away from the club, but also away from the field. Like you're just doing stuff together. They're the things that are really important throughout this time. And you also know it's not going to be easy. Like it's not going to be a smooth sailing and smooth run to get out of it. But you only really got two options. You really band together and you dig in, or you run away from it. So that's where my energy goes. That's where my head goes right now, and that's what we'll be doing as a club for the next part. But it's like that whole thing. I feel like sometimes when you're winning and you're leading, leading's pretty easy when you're winning, because you don't have to do much. You sort of feel like you've been an autopilot. Where
bringing the energy when you're winning, it just happens automatically, doesn't it? Yeah. The challenge is when you're losing and things aren't going your way, to find the inner strength to keep bringing it when it's almost you fake it till you make it, and then you get that snowball effect. You might just get one win that kickstarts everything. Yeah,
so exactly, mate, and that's where my focus will be. But it's going to be up for the challenge. But you find out a lot about yourself, I reckon, these times. Not only as a player, but as a leader, but also guys around you, the ones that really want to step up and dig in versus, like I said before, the ones that want to step away. But I feel like we've got the right group of people at the club to really band together and stick together. And we've got your mob this week, mate. Yeah. So it's always a big clash, big rivalry, which usually brings out the best in both sides.
And it's normally a big match-up for you individually as well. Normally yourself and Pendles go head-to-head. What have you found? I'm very lucky I get to see him on a day-to-day basis and how he operates with his professionalism. And one thing he said to me, or he might not even remember the conversation, but I was sort of picking his brain, as you do when you've got someone of his level and expertise around. And something that I've really taken to another level this year is diet.
Yeah.
And one thing he said to me is food is medicine, and you just see the way he looks after his body. Like even for a 50-year-old man, he's still chiseled. Like he's in such good nick, and his performance speaks for itself. But interested to hear from an opponent's point of view, who you match up with him pretty much every time, Pies versus the Blues. What do you feel about him as an opponent?
Yeah, I reckon for nearly 10, 11 years we've been playing on each other, and every now and then you have little different battles here and there with other players. But every team, as you get on your career, you sort of know who you're going to face, and you've had a fair few battles with them. So every time you verse each other, the winner you lose. There's no sort of in between, is there? So there's a battle within the battle, and I always like sort of making sure after every game you sort of unpack if you beat them, why'd you beat them versus, they got on top of you, or how do they get on top of you. So things he does well. He's very good at playing you back. He likes to sort of tangle you and negate you. He's done a lot of he's done a lot of craft, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
so he
I've done
knows,
jiu-jitsu.
so he knows a lot of sort of the, how to tangle you but get away with it, and sort of push you in and then get his shape. He's obviously highly intelligent, so got a high level of respect for him. I love those battles. He knows how to do that, but he also knows how to challenge the other way. So he makes you accountable. So I'm sure it'll be a good battle this week. I'm not sure who you get from the Pies, Lock, but it'd be a good test. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, he's one thing I've
Tommy's done a number on me a couple of times.
No, I think it's the other way around, mate. You've dominated me most games. But I was just going to say with Pendles as well, just because he's an icon of the game, I think he's so well balanced in his life as well. Like, footy isn't absolutely everything to him, and I think that actually helps your performance. Like, he's got, things with his wine business. He helps coach at Haileybury. He's got a great family with Al and his kids. Like, seems very well rounded, and that's something that I observe with the two of you at the moment. Like, you just had another baby boy Freddie. How's family life? But how have you found, since having a young family, having that balance in your life? Do you think it's actually helped your footy in a way as well?
Yeah, for sure. I reckon I've played my best footy since Piper came along, to be honest. So I feel like it's helped me. I reckon me and you are a little bit the same when we were younger, Tommy, like real footy nuffies, and would just consume ourselves in the game so much. And I still love watching and still enjoy that side of it, but I've certainly got a way better balance with life outside of footy, and coming home to the kids now is unreal. Little Freddie's a champ, so everything's going well. That end, I'm doing some work experience on my day off as well, which I reckon just helps me get away from the game too. So, and obviously got the ball magnet stuff and a couple of other little things that help keep me busy and help my mind drift away from what's required on game day and through the week at training. So it gives me more energy when I'm at the club as well for other people. When we were speaking about leadership before, it gives me energy to talk to those younger guys and sort of help them out a little bit more and have those chats. And you were saying how Pendles probably doesn't remember having that chat with you. I was thinking about that with me. Someone mentioned to me not long ago, like, you don't realise the influence you can have on someone by just talking to them for 20 seconds about how they went on the weekend. And so that's something that I've tried to add a fair bit of over the last couple of years, just checking in on guys that are sort of 10, 12 years younger than me. And it sort of keeps me young as well.
That's a really cool approach. I like that. I rate that. On the ball magnets note, we've got Josh Giddy, the fourth member, who would have loved to be a part of On the Inside, I reckon, with us, but he's too busy signing $1 million contracts, or about to sign big contracts. And he's actually on our podcast this week for everyone that listens to the Ball Magnets pods on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get them. But we've got a 2-part series with Giddy coming up the next few weeks. And pretty sure the deal he's going to sign is worth more than a whole AFL club's salary cap, which is pretty hard to comprehend. It's big money over there.
I think we're in the wrong game, boys. But,
yeah. Well, we are planning a trip to the US, but it'd be good to get over there together. But it's pretty incredible for a young kid to be sort of earning that. But his talent and his work ethic speaks for itself. Yeah,
he's done well. Like, we all love our basketball, but even for him this year, like his back end of the year was huge. Like the way he played for Chicago. I watched him pretty closely. Like, looks like grew in confidence, and once he had the ball in his hands a lot more, which he struggled to get at OKC, he sort of flourished. So, which is pretty. It was the same when he played for the Boomers. He's definitely someone that needs the ball in his hands. So sometimes you forget like how young he is compared to us. Like, you get sort of those sort of stars in other sports. You sort of look up to them and you see how well they're going, but you forget he's only sort of, I think, 20, 21, 22. So. He's done well to set himself up, but he's a great guy as well, Gids.
No, he is. We'll have to get the four of us together very soon. Boys, that's all we've got for today. How do you reckon we went first up?
I'll let the fans
dictate
that,
so
mate.
we'll probably get ripped, but we gave it a crack.
One thing that we did do well was colour coordinate. We didn't plan this, well, I didn't, but I've got the blue Ball Magnets merch on. Tommy, you got the brown, and Cripps with the white. So if you want any of this stuff, guys, head to ballmagnets.com.au, but we've colour coordinated pretty well.
We have done that well. And then we've got the nice little Gatorade logo on these as well. Locke, we'll get that sent up to you for episode 2. But boys, thanks so much. Thanks again to Gatorade. Episode 2 of On the Inside coming next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers, boys.
Happy days.
See ya. Peace.